How are we doing, sir? After a fun day of watching the Detroit Lions, which I never get to say this, winning their playoff game.
Woo-hoo-hoo. I think because Joe's
What's
been
up?
such a hater, we're all pushing for Lions.
Oh man, it's amazing. You should see all over like Facebook for people that live out here in Michigan. You'd think everybody's just on the happiest go. Everybody's just taking like family photos with lion shit just to show like how much they have a support of the Lions. It's hilarious.
My uncle, his whole life has been a Lions fan, and
Really?
yeah,
That's
we've
crazy.
we've talked shit to him our whole life, and
That's crazy.
I'm sure he's pumped up right now.
Oh heck yeah! If been a out of state lifetime Lions fan, geez, we've got some people around here because I live right where the Silver Dome was not too far from where I grew up, and so was the Palace. So I got to go to a lot of like Lions and Pistons games and stuff as a kid. I mean, both of the stadiums are now been demolished and stuff like that. But back in the day, this was a huge area for all the tailgating and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. There's people that still have like their garages with the Lions logo, painted on it and shit like that. Well, it come to an end. 297 is over, and it was one of the boringest damn cards of the year. I mean, there's only been two, so at least didn't have much competition. Crazy little point. There were four split decisions.
yeah, man. I felt like we did hear a lot of splits. Let me guess them from the top of my head.
Mm.
The main event, Arnold Allen, Chris Curtis, and
Arnold Allen was a uni.
Arnold Allen was unanimous. Okay.
Mm.
Chris Curtis one was a split.
Yep,
Sean Woodson
yep.
and Brad Katona.
No, the
Sydney, yeah, yeah,
Sydney
yeah.
Tavares was the other one. There were
Well, I know I have them here in my notes. Let me look at it real quick. Goes to split for the main event, plus 700, plus 350 for the Curtis fight, plus 350 for Jordan Woodson, and plus 450 for Sydney Tavares.
absolutely crazy. Uh, what are the first misses of the week that you're kind of pissed off about?
I mean, I really did not bet a lot yesterday. I kept it short and sweet. I hit my parlay early and had my spots, so I didn't really bet much. But the one that I did was just annoyed with was Myra Silva. I
Yeah,
was I
same
said
here.
I'll take inside the distance plus 110 plus 120. Put a unit on it, and I just thought she was gonna let an old girl get the belt, and she kind of gave up after the first 2 3 rounds. So that one kind
Yeah,
of
she
pissed me
was
off.
tired as fuck. She
Yeah,
was tired as fuck, man. She was done after like what, two rounds?
yeah, yeah.
What's
I
happening,
had
fellas?
six. I had
How you
six
doing, man?
plays. I had 6 plays. Went 3 for 3, and hit one parlay as well. So
No, it's still a good week.
yeah, yeah. I
Ozzy,
was
how about
chilling.
you? You have a good week? You're good night?
Yeah, good night, good night. Missed out on a couple of spots. There was four fights that I had to end in round three, all in a parlay to win a shit ton of money. But only one of them cashed, and it was the one that, for whatever reason, I didn't put it on singularly. That was the chick fight.
Jasmine.
Yeah, Jazz. I can't believe it. I was looking for it on all my books. I'm like, I definitely put this on, but it must have just been an oversight. I had it in a parlay with a bunch of other crazy shit, but which didn't cash. But for whatever reason, I didn't put it on singularly. I always do, but that for whatever reason that one didn't cash. Um, yeah, I had a crazy parlay multi, whatever you call it over there. That
Hmm.
yeah, 14 more seconds in that Neil Magny fight. If that goes the distance, I would have cashed 23 grand.
Oh
Ah,
So that was
damn.
God.
heartbreaking.
That's
Heartbreaking.
what I was
Ouch.
gonna bring up. Um,
That's a rough
Yeah.
one
how
there.
crazy. I mean, I was on the same situation as Aussie. Shout out Dark Horse, but I was
I had the
in.
same pick, man. I thought that Mike Malott could really do something to, Neil. I thought Neil Magny was pretty
Hear me out
washed.
though. Hear me out.
Thought it was
Hear me out.
okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, also in the same situation is like I think a lot of people had Malott in the parlay. Okay, whatever, or a Malott 1-2, which was asked, but I had Malott 3, which didn't go well. But it's so crazy how you can dominate a 15-minute fight, but he didn't dominate. He dominated 14 minutes
14,
and
yeah.
45 seconds, and at 10 seconds he got cooked. And that's honestly, it is what it is. It's MMA. He got fucked up in that last 10
Yeah.
seconds, and I give it to
That's
Magdy. But
that's
wow,
Magny though,
what a
man. He's
result!
a
What do you guys think about that result?
I
Wow.
was gonna ask y'all what was y'all's bet that y'all were on? Malott by decision or just Malott in general with the parlay?
I had him finishing him. I
I
thought he
had
was going to
everything.
finish him. Yeah.
I had Malad decision, Malad 1-2, but I think I'm not a salty guy. Um, when we saw what happened, I think that was one of the craziest results I've seen in a pay-per-view in a long time. Like the
Yeah.
old head coming back with 10 seconds left. Wow. And I mean that's all Malad's fault. Motherfucker was trying to do like leg locks and shit. Like that was very irresponsible from him for like with 1 minute left. But
I
that's
mean,
another
you
story.
He
also
was gassed
knowing,
and
yeah,
he just pulled
knowing you're
out.
gassed. Like, come on, don't be rolling for no leg lock when you yourself know how you're tired you are. Like, cause you're gonna put yourself in a bottom position when you roll for it. Aussie, what'd you have on that one?
yeah. I had, like I said, the fight goes the distance in one of the big parlay. I had also I had Magny by decision. I got that at 19-1. It was just crazy because I
Man,
figured that was his only path to victory. But yeah, he pulls it out in round three. I see a bunch of people were on him round three. He's he's burnt me a bunch of times. I think I've only cashed him round three once.
Yeah.
But you look at his record. I think nearly all of his fights where he's won
Decision.
has either
Decision.
been decision or round three. So he's just one of those guys. You probably, if you just bet him round three all the time, you're going to lose most of them, but you're going to win more than you lose. But
But
yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have it this time.
my question to the panel was, how crazy was that Magni in Canada destroying Dana's star boy in the last 10 seconds? I think
Yeah,
this was
that's
one of
that's
the
the that's
craziest
the risk
results
you
I've
take.
watched.
You put this young bloke in, relatively new. I think he's had 10 fights or something. Maybe he's had a bit more. I don't know. But you're giving
Mhm.
him Magny's got over 6 hours octagon time. He's probably the
Yeah.
most experienced person on the roster right now, outside of maybe Arlovsky. He's probably got more than Arlovsky, to be honest. He's had what? How many fights in the UFC? Over 20. Like this
Okay, I'm
guy's
looking it up. We're
probably
finding it.
closer to 30 than 20.
He's got
I mean,
22-10 is his record in the UFC
that's crazy.
with
32
six knocks
UFC
out,
fights.
2 submissions, and 14 decisions.
Just incredible. All that experience. I know he's losing a step. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's getting a bit older. He's probably training doesn't go as well as it used to, but he's still got all that experience, man. And he only needed that inch gap. He got that one little tiny little 50-second opportunity to win, and that's what he did, man. That's that
I mean,
veteran difference.
he had two losses in a row back in 2013, but since then Neil Magny has never lost two in a row.
Yeah, I think he was still ranked. He's a top 15. Yeah, he must
I
be.
think he was 14 or something like that. I think
I
they had him on.
I always said Neil Magny was the gatekeeper of all gatekeeper, and I think was it Dom Cruz or Daniel Cormier literally said when he went into Octagon, like this guy's the best gatekeeper, and then the gatekeeper won. That's hilarious.
He is, no matter what,
That's
that
his job.
size.
That's his
He's literally
job,
the
man.
goat of gatekeeper.
He is. He definitely is the gay to go keep. Yeah, I mean, he definitely is ruining a lot of guys' careers that kind of get up to being in the spotlight. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to
Yep.
ruin your day. Yeah, it was almost like, Miller. Jim Miller was coming in there, Clay Guida. They'd take some of these young kids that were coming in hot, looking like they were going to be at least maybe a contender, and they would just get smoked by these veterans because, these guys have spent a lot of time on the spotlight, and I think that is really, shows its true meaning. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of break down. We'll go through that was kind of a little scattered shit, but we'll flip through the review of the card and try to see like what we missed on some of these things. I mean, obviously with the first fight, we had Malcolm Gordon taking on Jimmy Flick, and I think the biggest thing on here is if you were on the Flick side, you better have hit with that submission because that's all he did. It was the only way he was going to win.
Yep.
Daniel,
Yeah,
what do you
that.
got?
100%. That was his. It might as well been his money line.
Yeah.
His submission. Yeah.
Yo,
You can't
Captain
just take
Husky,
him.
can y'all help me out? I was actually at work during this time. I saw Jimmy Flick's submission, but how did the fight go? Can you give me like a little 30-second rundown?
No, I mean, Gordon had his spots. He was putting it on him in the first round. Knocked him down. I think he, like I said, he put it on him, and then Flick at the very end turned it around on him at the end of the first round, and he made it out. I think he tried something like an arm triangle. He tried to go for something, and then second round, just Malcolm Gordon, horrible IQ, just said, "I'm going to swarm him." And overthrew one punch to where he has one knee on the floor, both hands on the floor, back up, and Jimmy Flick jumps on him, submits his ass.
What,
It
what, what,
was
what was the sub?
Yeah.
Was it a rear naked? Was it a Cabrera? Was it like a, what was it?
Rear naked.
Rear naked. Okay, like he's on the back, flattened him out type shit, or
Yeah.
maybe rear naked. Yeah.
Yeah, it was embarrassing because when he did come out in that second round, he threw a hard flurry, and it was I that was one of my misses. I had Malcolm Gordon KO, and he was knocking him around a little bit, and I was like, here we go, let's go, and then just huge miss, falls to the floor on all fours, gives up his back, and Flick just jumps on his ass. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I would say Gordon gave Flick every chance to win, and Flick took that chance. Like Gordon fought like an absolute imbecile. There's no way anything he was doing was what they were working on in the preparation for this fight. He's I don't think it
Yeah, it
was
looked like he
his
gassed
preparation.
too.
I think it's more his fight IQ. It's just not
Yeah.
there at this
Well,
level.
and
You
how much
can't
did he
make
miss weight
mistakes.
by? Missed
4 pounds
weight by a
was it or
decent amount
something?
too. Let's see, weigh 127 and a half. So he came in a
Yeah,
pound and a half over. So not
That's
horrible,
what he
but
gets
still.
for missing weight.
Yeah. And that's what kind of should happen. That's what pisses you off sometimes when you put in those bets because those guys miss weight. You're like, oh, that means he's going to come in like shit because he had such a bad weight cut. And then they come in and smoke your fucking guy. That's always a fun
Actually,
one.
it only pissed me off. He didn't submit him round one. I picked him round one, but he submits him round two. So
Nah,
he,
still you take what you can get on it.
I
Usually the
know.
odds are pretty good.
Pretty. Meanwhile, Neil Magny, I done told y'all he came in with a chip on his shoulder. He had to redeem himself. I mean, you're a
Yeah,
father. You know how it feels.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I don't know the whole detail between all of that with Neil and his what Mr. Cuck was all mad about and why he flipped him off and everything like that. So
No,
what
he lost
story
to
to it?
Ian Gary last year. That's why.
Yeah, but what was Ian Gary calling him like a piece of shit dad for or something?
he said he
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
beat.
Maybe because he's
No, he's
jealous. He's jealous that he's
Neil
a better
Magny.
father.
No, Neil Magny said that he's gonna beat Ian Gary like he's his dad or something. Like he's gonna beat
Oh,
just a reference to a dad beating the shit out of his kid.
I
So
thought he
that's what
meant
it was.
like I don't know what, like Star Lord versus from Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Lord and Ego.
He said something similar to "I'm gonna beat you
something
like
like
I
that.
beat my
Okay,
kid" or
so
something.
Oh, he's gonna treat him like the kid. Or yeah, because of the age difference. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Then we went to a massacre with Jasmine beating the living shit. I mean, I this was so sad. I mean, if anybody had the over, I bet you were like shaking in your boots like no other in this because she was just absolutely destroying her. It's crazy in WMMA how these chicks can be in such dominance, but they can't finish anything, no matter how high level of talent they are above the other person. And
No,
the other
that
one
was
never
that
quits.
that was one of those where the ref had the over, man, because they
That was bad.
he could have stopped the fight. Like there was some times where Jasmine was unleashing on her and it was like, okay, ref, stop this shit. And then she would stop and it's like, okay, I guess. But there was a lot of moments where Priscilla just stopped moving and took a beating. And that was another one of my two bets of the night. I had Jasmine I had Jasmine what is this? Inside the distance, plus 140 and then the under. Um, and son of a bitch, man.
Well, the
I
under
thought
you
I was
probably
gonna.
missed on that.
Yeah, I missed the under, but I hit that inside the distance.
Oh, at least
Mm.
yeah, that part. Yeah, she saved you on that. I mean, a couple of them you just thought the submit. I almost wish she would have not attempted the submission. She probably would have finished her a lot earlier.
Well, I think she probably finished her in every round, to be honest. If
Nah,
the
No
ref
she
had not,
kidding.
did. I mean, she had
this,
Priscilla had little to no defense, no
yeah,
shrimping out of that. It was
and
total
no offense either.
domination.
That's the big thing. She landed what 8 strikes in the entire fight and took 300. Like, what the fuck are
Yeah,
we doing
new
over here?
record. That was
Is
my
this
favorite part.
this ref? That ref didn't come out for another fight after that, did he?
So honestly, this was one of the fights where I was actually still at work. I heard that we had the rare 10-7 in the third round. Can you give me
Yeah,
a 30
yeah.
second rundown about how this fight went? I mean, it seemed like she got fucked up, but like,
Well, in the first round, it
tell
was
me.
like as soon as she came out way too aggressive, Priscilla, and she got taken down easy and then mounted quickly and then just non-stop barrage of punches for the entire fight, entire round from Mount. Um, in the second round, they came out, which would have been a 10-8 round one. I'm positive it must have been. Round two came out, dropped her straight away with a straight right, jumped on her, went to Mount, beat that ass again for another 4.5 minutes. And then in the third, it was more of the same. As soon as she took her down, she went to Mount, beat her ass. This ref just was not going to stop this
Wait,
fight.
wait, RC, how bad was the third round? I didn't watch. I heard it was like, okay, 10-7. So when you see 10-7
I
on
know
the
one judge gave
I
it 10
think it
7.
was
Yeah.
it cringy, like you were like kind of cringy, you don't want to look at the screen, you're like, damn, stop the fight.
No, no. So the
In
third
Nah,
summary,
I
this
was.
yeah.
the
In
I was
third
summary,
round
definitely
was
all
not.
saying they should stop the fight, and I thought I had a bet on that round three stoppage. I didn't, mustn't have clicked submit or whatever. I thought I was cheering for that round three stoppage, like I had because I thought I had money on it.
yeah,
That's the only reason I didn't want it stopped in that first and second.
yeah,
But
It,
it was
it,
bad, and the only reason she got the finish was because she got the choke and she tapped. This ref was not
yeah,
going to stop that fight.
the
yeah,
10-7 came in the second round. The third round wasn't as bad as it seemed because Jasmine came out a lot slower from beating that ass in that third round. Like that takedown didn't come as fast as
Yeah.
possible. I think Cachueta stuffed about 2-3 before she got that last takedown. The way it happened was Priscilla actually landed a good counter left, I believe it was, as Jasmine came in for a takedown, which put her on her butt, or like she fell forward. And then Priscilla followed her to the ground and landed a nice right hook as well. But by that time, Jasmine was on the floor already at hip level. Priscilla gave up all the space,
yep.
and then Jasmine finally got that takedown. Like Jasmine was tired in that third round, but the 10-7 came in the second.
And that
I mean,
choke, she
she's a
actually tried in the
Olympic
second as well.
wrestler from Canada. She's an Olympic world wrestler. So I had no. Well, I mean, I forgot about that, but I don't regret picking Priscilla because she's no other zombie girl for that reason. That's why it took her so long to get finished.
Oh, it was definitely one step at a time. I mean, she gave her an entire math book of problems. She
Yep.
beat the shit out of her. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
On to the next one with Johan losing to Sam Patterson. I totally thought that Patterson sucked balls when I watched some tape on him, and I did know that Johan, his ground game wasn't that good. I just didn't think it was that fucking bad because he made this look simple. Like Johan didn't even fucking try. It was pretty embarrassing for him, in my opinion. But I think I had Patterson in one of like a small bet that I put on the side, but I didn't cash in the amount that you obviously could have with this
Oh, you
dog.
should have. I fucking got a big ass payday on that fight.
Oh, did you? Well, good for
Yeah.
you, brother.
That's the only fight I betted on that night too. Then I got fucking lucky. I was too nervous for the Strickland fight. I didn't want to put money on that one.
Yeah. Well, there was a reason why that was a 50-50 fight. I totally agree. Anybody else got anything on this? They cash in on Patterson, or how'd you
Skip.
judge it? How'd you look? Go on to the next.
Skip for me,
Uh,
man. Go on to the next one.
okay. Well, then
I
we
only
got
picked
Gillian
Johan because of
Robinson.
his name.
Yeah, that makes a good point. Then we seen Gillian Robinson come in there and do what she's been doing to a lot of these young girls that are still in the what the vision is this 115, so strawweight, and she come out that was all dominance. So I guess everybody, I had it on a parlay that ended up getting knocked out by Brad, but anybody else cash on Robinson, her
Yeah,
dominance?
yeah. I put a unit on Robertson. Man, it won't load exactly what the bet was, but I think it was inside the distance. I'm trying to stay a little safer with either being KO or fucking submission. So I
Mm-hmm.
did put a unit, and that was another one of the wins right there for me.
Yeah, I mean, closing odds at minus 310 was definitely pretty good on that. I mean, I think they judged it, and you've seen the line go right in that way. Then we had the next fight with Raymond Tavares versus Siri Sydney, and that went all the way to the judges. Hell of a war, fight of the night, I think, is what they gave it. Uh, I think I had that to not go to the judges, so I lost a bet on that. But they definitely entertained me for the night. That was for sure.
I was disappointed because on the Friday show, I had said two low level guys with lots of early finishes in their fucking resume. They're going to test each other. They're going to be a little bit. They're going to test each other out. Be afraid of what each has to offer. I said take the over, and over at minus 120. Fucking, I didn't bite. I wish I would have, but that was the bet right there.
No
Which
doubt.
Yeah,
I mean,
fight?
it
I
definitely
had
makes sense that situation.
yeah, I had the fight to end in split. This is the one split decision I cashed on the card actually, so I got that at
Oh,
plus a
that's good.
thousand. So yeah,
What
just
did
a
you get
little. I
it at?
think
Which
plus
fight?
1,000. Yeah.
Oh my!
So
What book are you using again? You got them
almost that
Australian
was
books.
bet right in Australia. So I don't know. It would probably be on
Ooh.
DraftKings or
Which
FanDuel. I
fight?
think over there.
Tavares City.
Oh yeah, I had him by decision all the way. I had no doubt.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but we were going on the split, is what we were talking about, Daniel.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
so
thought I
how
listed
did
thought
you
it
on.
go
was
off
a
that? Did you go with that? Was it just for the hell of it? Because both guys are, kind of doing what's not supposed to happen. When you
well,
get two
those
guys
guys
that are early.
kind of were fighting in the small cage. You know, once you're in a big cage, it's a lot more space to move, get out of the way. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you look at the weight class, I always look at the weight class and then look at the split. And plus 1,000 is not what they should be at that weight class for any fight.
Yeah,
I'll always bet a split decision at those lower weight classes at that price, whether I think it's going to be
okay.
round one knockout or not. It's just long term, you're gonna do well, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I had to double ask what you got it at because I listed them earlier on, the ones that did cash split, and that was plus 450 on Bet Online. What I
Mm.
do on my
I'll
notes on.
I'll send it to the group chat. I'll show you. I think I only had
Beautiful,
$10 to win 100 or something like that. But
beautiful.
All right, then we went to Garrett Armfield taking out Brad Katana in a unanimous decision, while Brad Katana even had his hands up, and Garrett didn't even think that he won the fight. I saw it pretty close. I mean, I definitely thought that Armfield was a little bit ahead in those first two rounds. Katana definitely won the third round. I thought it was going to be a split, was my guess, but I wasn't surprised that Katana lost. Uh, he didn't do enough in those first two rounds, but I didn't think that he lost both of them on every freaking judge's scorecard. So that part surprised me of it. But yeah, he knocked out my parlay, and I lost $100 because he's an asshole. Usman, what do you got?
No, just another one where I gave it out as simple as possible, man. Both of these guys just tough as nails. Hit the over all day. I know I said that like 10 times on Friday, and I didn't play it. Easy money, even though it's that minus 180. Don't be afraid to lay a little bit more when you know that that's a lot, because
Yeah.
Brad Katona is going to give you an over all the time.
What do I have as a closing thing on that too? For the over 2.5, it closed at minus 185, like you just said.
Yeah, I had it in my notes at minus 180.
Yeah. So good pick on that, even though he had to fuck me over. Then we got Evilov and Arnold Allen as the next fight that goes to the decision for split. It goes to Evilov. That was a hell of a fight. I mean, for how much of a little technical battle it turned into, and
What
Arnold
about
Adam
Woodson?
Oh yeah, we did
Woodson.
skip Woodson. Woodson, Jordan.
Oh, I did shit. I guess I didn't put in a pick for it on Tapology. That was the one I was missing.
Yeah, I
Oopsie.
mean, I didn't have any bets on that one.
I mean,
Um,
Woodson I did because I did put some money on Woodson. He hit on one of my parlays. I did have a small, like I ended up still with a loss for the night because of a guy we'll talk about later who's an asshole as well. But I did hit on Woodson. I just didn't like the size disadvantage. And Charles Jourdain, I've I like him a lot, but he's kind of done the same type of thing, where in fights you think he should kind of dominate or kind of show off pretty good, and he just comes in and doesn't do anything. He's not aggressive enough like he used to be, and that's kind of why I wasn't surprised that Sean beat him with his long, lengthy style.
I just went by the numbers, and the numbers say that Woodson would win there by decision. That's why I picked decision.
Okay, I mean it made sense. It's not like they were allowed to get any closer or anything with how big he is. The tough
yeah,
fight.
yeah. To
He's
backtrack just a bit, I mean, the parlay we already covered the fights, but the parlay that I had at plus 400, Jimmy Flick, Malcolm Gordon under 1.5, Jasmine Devicius money line, Lenise Patterson under 1.5, and then Robertson money line. Hit that parlay early.
Yeah, that's a good one.
nice, nice.
And then you got to take a nap because the rest of the card went all to the judges.
Well, that
Yeah.
Woodson, he's going to create problems for everyone he fights. He's so long and lengthy. He's got such a weird body. His torso short, but his limbs are really long. He's
That
got a
was
Yeah,
heavyweight head on a
another
lightweight
Neil
body.
Magny thing. Yeah, another
Yeah,
Neil
he's
Magny thing.
just everyone like Jourdain's whole fight style has to change to fight. There's no flying knees. Look how far away he was with all those spinning attacks, and he was just nowhere near anything. And Woodson's length just won in the fight. I can't believe I didn't bet it. I was so close to betting Woodson. I didn't pull the trigger, but just that was the story of the night. So many bets I should and would usually make, I didn't make.
Yeah, I feel you, Aussie. I feel you. Joe?
Man, I just been listening, enjoying the listen. I just wanted to all right, so I feel like a lot of the ones I hit, flick by sub was easy cat, right? Like I don't feel like I was special for that. Jasmine sub, don't feel special for that. Jillian sub, I don't think she got the sub, but that was one that I felt good on. And then, but Sean Woodson by fucking split decision. Like I broke that shit down to a tippity T on that one on Friday. That was probably my proudest spot of the whole fucking night, to be honest, man. Like I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but man, I just felt like I nailed that one on the head. So I'm not gonna sit in here and toot my horn on the ones I did or didn't. That's just one I felt a lot of pride when I told my homie, I'm sitting here, I'm like, this bitch about to go to split decision before it started, and he was like, what? And I'm like, bro, this fight's going to split. And we watched it. I thought it was a good fight. It was weird, all the announcement shit at the end, but I thought it was a good fight.
Yeah, so I think Buffer read it right, but the ref held up the wrong hand.
Yeah, it
That's where
was
the
the
confusion
ref.
came in. Yeah. So
Yeah,
DC had to
Got
come in.
one
DC could have
job.
he could
One
stop laughing.
job.
DC, he's laughing. He's like, no, 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 you won, you won. He lost. It's like, oh
Damn. Some
fuck.
Steve Harvey shit there.
Imagine Jourdain like, you think you won? Yes, fuck you. I needed that money.
And
And then you got to, oh my god, it's like someone giving you 50 grand and then taking it straight back.
what a rough night that would have been, man. So I guess we'll go on into we'll go back to the Arnold Allen fight with Ilimov.
yeah.
Anybody want?
I don't know what Dana was talking about, saying that that was like the worst, most boring fight of the night. Like I'm an Evloev hater. I'll take any chance I can, and I was really impressed that fight, man. But right before that fight started, I was sitting there with a buddy, and I told him I was like, "Slam Evloev by decision." And in Friday space, I said, "Just take the over, or the goes the distance."
Mhm.
Evloev is the gift that keeps on giving. He's not going to get a finish. That's a free bet every night that he fights. And I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it, but I didn't even think it was a split or that close. I thought it was a pretty easily Evloev's fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you gave the attempts of these submissions that Arnold Allen was doing pretty good on, I can understand if somebody wanted to be nice, but I didn't see any way that he was actually going to get two judges to give him, 2 rounds. For him to even get a split kind of surprises me, where I thought Brad Katana and Armfield was a better close fight that could have been a split in that scenario. So, biggest thing to me, I think, is like you were saying, we know that Evolov doesn't go to finish anybody. It seems kind of odd. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to be a decision fighter because now he's taking on Arnold Allen, who's just competing with some up top guys. Now that means he's got to get somebody. So I don't know what his next fight's going to be like, who he's going to really fight with, but he's going to have to start finishing some guys, or he's just going to be someone's going to give us a nice card.
Well, that speech from Dana at the end was
Not
pretty
happy.
telling. He doesn't want to give him the push if he's not going to be exciting. I guess extra exciting, shall I say? Because like I said, I thought he showed some good gains, man. He was able to strike there with Allen, where I thought it was going to have to be all grappling for him to win this fight. So he did impress me as a hater.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think I'm on the same boat because his earlier fights when he first got in were pretty boring, no doubt. On to Chris Curtis taking off another Canadian, Marc Andre. What'd you think on that fight?
Um, Man, that one, like I said, another one that I'd have to rewatch. And then maybe it's because I am not the biggest fan of Chris Curtis. But I thought Marc Andre did all right. Like I said, can't really recall too much about it. This one, I was just really tuned in and out. The most I got hyped for was the damn headbutt in the second because
Yeah,
it happens every fucking Chris Curtis fight. If I could take a bet on that, you bet Chris Curtis complain about a headbutt every
I
single
think you
damn
said
fight.
that on Friday too.
Yeah, just easy money. And then also the over. I wish I would have hit the
Yeah,
over. Just a lot of spots where I was just too entertained with the homies and a little under the influence to not paying attention to the actual
yeah,
betting.
over
So I
two and
didn't.
a half,
I watched
minus
the fight.
165.
I was watching the fight, and as they were fighting, I was like daydreaming in between because I was paying attention, but it was just uneventful for me.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't too.
You know what I mean? So you felt the same way?
Yeah, it was not a very entertaining fight. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I wasn't even drunk. I was sober, and I just was daydreaming as I was watching it.
yeah, I mean, it's even the Neil Magny fight with Mike. That was still pretty boring fight until the end when Neil turned on the gas and took him
True,
out.
true.
So
So
the
we were like,
Curtis
huh,
fight.
huh? They actually do knock people out. Holy crap!
So with
Yeah,
the Curtis fight, I actually I missed the first 2 rounds because I was trying to get my pay per view sorted. I tuned in on round three, and round three looked kind of hectic. So the first 2 rounds were kind of a bit shit, were they?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was your typical Chris Curtis fight, kind of point fighting. The
Okay.
same thing
Yeah.
that Sean Strickland does. He was landing better strikes. I mean, if we look at here in the stats, significant strike wise overall, it was 140 to 122. Both through about 250 significant strikes. So he landed more in the head, was 101 to 77. Body shots were even. So he just kind of beat him on the score sheets, going around into the fight. Takedowns, no one attempted any of that. And if that's how you're going to fight Chris Curtis, that's how you're going to lose because they practice
Yeah.
that point fighting all the damn time. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and just from memory, like I think what made those first 2 rounds a little more uneventful was Marc Andre did kind of switch up his game. Like he didn't from memory, like I said, he didn't press forward. He was skirting on the outside, trying to use a long jab, hit the body when he could. He let Curtis like kind of move forward and dictate the pace. So it was a lot slower. I was expecting it wasn't like that third round where Marc Andre started rushing into him and they were fighting in a phone booth a little more.
Yeah. He also looked kind of tired too the entire time because he was a little wild with a lot of his stuff, in my opinion. Then we get to the amazing Neil Magny that we've all been loving on and talking about how the king of the gatekeepers knocked out another youngin coming in here. I think we just fell in love with Mike too much and thinking that he was actually going to be somebody. But when you looked at them in the octagon together, it was like, holy shit, this is Neil Magny. There's no way in fucking hell this Mike kid's gonna knock him out. It's not gonna happen. And I just wanted to smack myself.
And he put him in some good positions in those first 2 rounds. He got full mount. Like Mike was looking like he was going to be, be something in those first 2 rounds, but the end of that third, it really just showed his cards of like I hate to say it, but something like no heart. You know what I mean? No will. Like once Magny got on top, he rolled over twice, maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
like he stayed in that position, tired or not tired. Like once again, what we said earlier, it's like you cannot be rolling for a leg lock when you've got no gas in the tank, and
Yeah.
you're gonna just stay stuck on bottom. It
Well, it
was.
wasn't
He
that the negative about him too. Like that was the negative about Malat. That was his gas tank was the question. And what do you know? That's how he ended up getting finished.
Yeah, it was questionable because he had a lot of early finishes,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it looked good even going into that third round. Like it was a mauling for the most part. It seemed like Magny didn't really put up much fight backwards. He got that leg eaten up, and like I said, that's why it sucks. It seemed like the kid just quit. Like he said, he didn't want any more after getting stuck on bottom.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I
and
mean
then
Magny.
go ahead.
Sorry, mate. Go.
Go
No,
ahead.
well, Magny landed 110 strikes, and 80 of them were in that third round, and that must have been all in that last 40 seconds.
Well,
No kidding.
Like he really showed nothing until he showed everything, and
He's seen
you
it.
know,
I think that's
yeah,
the veteran part. He's seen that. Okay, this kid's dead.
yeah,
Now I can I'll empty my gas tank right now because I know I can finish this kid because he's not even fighting back.
yeah. Mike Millett, yeah, he kind of cardio tapped, you know. When you're
Yeah,
just laying there on your side and you got your hand covering your ear, you're done. You've pretty much
yeah,
tapped out.
yeah. It was sad to watch.
Yeah,
Then
like I
not
said,
as
if we
sad
had
as
a
this
had that
long ass
same
fight.
ref though, if we had a had
Oh
that
yeah,
ref
yeah,
from that JJ fight, man, I cashed that 23 grand.
yeah. Without a doubt, he could have kicked him in the head a
Bring him
couple
back.
times, couple soccer kicks. But he's
Yeah,
fine.
fucking
He's fine. Yeah. To the co-main event where Raquel Pennington survived the first two rounds to take on her first belt over Bruna Silva. That's kind of how I looked at the fight. The first two rounds, Silva got her in a couple tight spots. After that, she
Agreed.
fell apart and she looked horrible.
It
Uh,
was definitely the cardio at hand.
yeah,
It was obvious. Like she was dead tired. Like
that's what
she
was talked about too. You know.
Yeah, like she burned out her arms at least 3 times out of those submissions, and Raquel was never any danger. Like, and I know my jiu-jitsu, like she countered it perfectly and just got her head out, pushed her head out of the way, got her out of the way. Not only that, you're up against the cage. That was never going to work. Plus that Kimura, like it was never going to work. You're too close to the cage in order for you to shrimp it to do it properly. I'm just saying.
Hmm. Yeah, there was a couple close ones. I thought you had submissions that looked nice, but then after that, uh, I mean, you could just watch them in the corners, and you were almost waiting for a towel to be thrown in, because I mean, Silva's just pouring water bottles all over her head.
dude, that
Pennington
had me
looks like she's
cracking
just
up.
like, I mean, she was, you could tell, just dying, and she was doing that in the third round, let alone in the fifth. So I mean, kudos to Penny Ham. She's put in a lot of time into it in WMMA. So good for her, and kind of a crazy division now that Amanda Nunes is no longer in the area.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens next in that division, just because. I mean, we got Pena. Mara Bonacella really laid an egg in her big moment here. That was the last bet of the night for me, and it was Bonacella inside the distance. And yeah, after that second, maybe third round, it was done. I knew that wasn't going to cash.
Yeah, same here. I was definitely kind of pouting on the couch, plus trying to stay awake since I had to get up so damn early this morning for my kids'
yeah.
hockey game. So that
I
brings us to
had
the main event, because I know this is going to be a freaking hell of an argument. Uh, Hell of a close fight, and how the odds ended for this fight is exactly what we got to see. I mean, those guys definitely put on a pretty damn good show. Uh, I mean, it's not as you know Robbie Lawler versus Roy McDonald type of fight, but it was a hell of a blood battle, and they did some damage to you guys all around. The takedowns seem to be the indicator of the difference on how the judges gave it to DDP. I don't really like those takedowns just because they don't do anything, and it drives me nuts how it counts for so much control time and so much of a pat on the back for doing something of catching a guy standing up off guard, and then he gets back up to his feet, so you did absolutely nothing for it. And he hits you in the head way more times than you did, but somehow the judge still says, well, he did take him to the ground, and that's kind of how he won. So, I mean, DDP, he did do a lot in those middle rounds. I think he showed me that he's definitely beatable, uh, as much as he could also stay in there with Sean Strickland pretty good. He got beat up pretty hard through a lot of those. I think Sean was right after the fight when he said that he shouldn't have been a pussy through a couple of those rounds because he did seem to get a little gassed, where he could have definitely locked in some more rounds more in his side. So I'll go off to my co-host. Tell me what you think about the main event.
Yeah, man. First thing that I have to say, why the fuck is Toronto using the 2006 rule set? Um, because of that, the takedowns count a lot more. The forward pressure counts a lot more. Keeping that in mind, and this was I had already scored it for Duplessis, but keeping that in mind, there's no way Duplessis didn't lose that fight. But and that's just I don't unified rules, bunch of bullshit. 2006 rule set that makes no fucking sense. Also, those knees on Evluev that Arnold landed on Evluev, 100% illegal because of a 2006 rule set.
Because he
Go ahead,
touched
Joe.
his fingertips touched the mat. Can't let
Yeah.
that happen.
No,
It-
actually, even under the 2006 rule set, it says that you cannot use your hand to intentionally ground yourself. Every one of those knees was legal. The ref fucked that up huge. That's what you're going to hear about coming all this week everywhere is that the ref fucked that up because he did. You are not allowed to reach down to ground yourself. And it is even more clearly defined in the 2006 rule set. You cannot intentionally ground yourself with your hands. All of those were legal. You are allowed to lift your opponent to knee them. Everything was legal.
all I'll say is link me because I saw something about as long as it's
Actually, just look up
fingertips.
Joe Rogan's watch along. They broke down the whole thing on there.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch that.
Why? You don't like Joe
I'll
Rogan?
because that's a bunch of fucking drunk dudes that aren't paying
Come
attention
on,
to
it's
anything.
only 4 hours, man.
Um, I'll look for the rule set.
No,
The
it's
Smoking
so
too, man.
it's actually Joe's recap, and he said when he's reviewing it, and he actually says when you're sitting around with your buddies, we all thought they were illegal. He said, but then if you go look up the rules and blah blah, that's what brought it all to my attention. So you can Google it really quick and just see that you can't intentionally ground yourself. You can't do it. It's against the rules in MMA.
You can drop a knee though, right, Joe?
You can what?
You can drop a knee though.
What do you mean
Like
drop a
if you
knee?
put it, like if you put your hand down, you're intentionally. But if you put your knee down, so you got 3 points.
You're grounded.
Yeah. That's or yeah. Whenever you put a knee down, then it's not a grey area, is it?
No, but you
If
can't.
someone's kneeing you, you drop a knee so that your knee's on the ground, then that's an intentional foul after that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Weird.
You're
because
right
that
on that.
hand shit was fucking things up for too long. Putting like a pinky finger down, and then all of a sudden it's meant to make a difference with whether you're getting hit in the head or not. Like it was ridiculous for a
It's
while. So
driving me crazy. I can't remember the fight, bro. There was a fight where the ref had to literally stand there and go, "He's grounded. He's
yeah,
grounded.
that's fine.
He's grounded. He's
Yeah.
grounded." Because they had him, they were holding him from over in a position to drop knees, and the dude was reaching down. It was a UFC fight. Dude was reaching down with his left hand touching the mat. And then the ref didn't want the guy to throw the illegal knee because it was a complete blind spot that the dude was using to intentionally ground himself. Um, yeah, fuck. I wish I could remember that fight, dude. He tells him like, man, I want to say half a dozen times. He stands there and tells
I
him
think it was
he's
right when
grounded.
it first came out about the whole, grounded opponent and
Right
hands on the
before
ground.
it came out, right before it got changed, right before they took that away, or however it worked. But yeah, it
Hmm.
was fucking horseshit.
Well, too bad you can't think it up. I do want to say that when I was looking at the Strickland fight, preparing for the show, uh, it was only over 2.5 rounds is what they put this fight at. They
one
almost
and
could
a
have put it at. They could have put it like way higher than that.
1.5 on Bet Online, man. That was
Really?
minus.
Oh
Yeah, that
shit.
was minus 225, and that was another one where I looked at it and was like, "That's just easy money all day." I don't know. I completely didn't understand why they set it at minus or one over 1.5 rounds minus 225.
Yeah, I mean that's what it totally should have been the big bite. I mean, Sean Strickland is gonna Yeah, I know DDP was put in there with his power, is what we were supposed to be worried about. That he's gonna, saw him off in the first round. But with Sean Strickland's career, you got to pay to his veteran style, just like no one did on Neil Magny for him to come back in the third round, or to at least like we did discuss was making sure that you at least went to the scorecards because of Neil Magny's veteran status.
Just quickly, I'd see Brits has just entered the as a listener. Follow Aussie there. He's a good bloke. You should all give him a follow. He actually did hit a $20,000 multi yesterday. So go give him a follow. Have a look at his timeline, and you'll
Hell
see
yeah.
he put a crazy fucking $25 to win. So it must have been 1,000 to 1 the odds, and he hit a 23,000 to 1. So
Already
Damn.
following that boy.
he's in spaces all the time. I'm sure he's been in your spaces a bunch too. He just kind of comes in as a listener. But
Um,
shoot him a mic. Maybe he'll come up and explain the parlay what it was.
but
Oh.
so to get back to the main event, how did everybody score it? Because I gave it a 2-3-4 for Dricus Duplessis. 1-5, obviously. Sean
Oh, I
Strickland.
scored exactly the
Sean
same.
Strickland's.
Exactly the same. I don't know where the controversy is coming
Yeah,
from. To be honest, even I wouldn't have been upset if Strickland had have won one of those
I
close
think it's the
rounds. But
third round.
there's no robbery there, man.
I think
People
the
were
third
fucking
round's the
pissed
biggest
off
one.
yesterday, and I didn't really get it that much. I,
Any
Well,
close
let's look
fight
at
is a
some
robbery
stats.
nowadays. Joe?
Yeah, I did think that he did enough, though. I thought that old school times of the champion really getting beaten and don't let it go to the judges type of shit. John Jones has a couple W's under his belt from that idea. I think Sean did enough to win as a champion. I mean, he won the first round with ease. In the second round, it was close, and then you get a takedown that kind of gives it to DDP. You get into the third round, it's a really close one as well. They are both on their feet for that one. Uh, Stats for it is 31 landed by Strickland, 29 by DDP. As for location, 29 head strikes for Sean in that round, 13 for DDP. He did get him with 10 bodies shots to Sean's two, and then he got him with 6 leg kicks. So Sean hit him in the head. He hit him all over the body. So that would be the push for did he take that round? I would say this is kind of more of a split round because they're so close. I'm sure we could do a weasel type of thing and make a video that goes through every like which medium and hits and all that shit. But that's definitely your, I would say, big round to pick is number 3 because 4 I thought was a DDP round where if Sean would have been a little bit more aggressive, even though he was landing strikes, it just looked like DDP was doing more work and kind of being more aggressive. Another takedown kind of solidifies that round. And then the fifth, obviously, just by stats, 53 landed strikes to 35 shows Sean, took that round pretty easily. Go ahead, Joe.
So I scored it 4-1, Sean. I gave DDP 4. I knew that the judges would give uh, DDP round 3 because of the cut and the blood. Um, but I would stand by. Go watch it again. DDP won round 4. Um, I like there was no real damage. Like the blood gets misconfused for damage. Sometimes you can cut somebody, and that doesn't mean they're hurt. It means they're cut. So it it definitely is it's a weird thing for the judges to look at. But anyways, that was how I scored it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely one thing that I wanted to talk about because I didn't hear exactly what Dominic Cruz's comments were. Um, First and foremost, I think everybody just hates Dominic Cruz and just once the trend starts to attack something that he says, everybody just starts saying he's an idiot and continues to attack what he says. But I believe, paraphrasing, it went something along the line of if you get a cut in the first round That's damage that not only accumulates in that round, but it goes on through two, three, four, five, whatever it may be. And I I don't understand. I think it's a double-edged sword kind of conversation. I think it's a very stupid argument because sure, it is right. The damage was done in that first round, but if I keep fucking hitting you, you go and get cleaned up every single at the end of every single round. You come in here, no blood, and then I could keep continuing to hit that spot, and your face is now completely red. It's just not a good optic. Just because I cut you in the first round and I'm still
Yeah.
making your ass
Why
bleed
wouldn't
all
I hit it
over,
again? Yeah, it makes no sense.
and like then what I mean is like double-edged sword is Sean Strickland fucked up Duplessis's eye in that first round.
No doubt.
If it gets swollen shut coming into that fifth round, are we gonna say like, yeah, but that was a lot of the damage came from the first round. It's not really from the fifth round. Like, no, it was damage done throughout the whole fight, and it all adds up. And like I said, the most important thing is it's just not a good optic if you're sitting there as a judge, and you see somebody's face just completely turn red, from
Yeah.
blood. Joe.
Oh, and he definitely had the hell that the cut man had to have done a great job on that eye to maintain the swelling through the whole fight from it happening in the first round. Because they're damn in the press conference it looked bad. Go ahead, Joe.
So I don't know. Someone else actually said this. I might have been on the broadcast or whatever. And like sometimes you hear something, you agree with it, so it becomes what you think of it. And the cut, when the cut happens, that's damage. That damage happened then. That cut no longer represents damage after that round. The blood no longer represents damage. The blood that comes from that cut, you have to determine if there's a new cut, because if it's the same cut, cuts bleed. They don't stop them from bleeding in the corners. They patch them up to prevent them from oozing out, but they don't actually
Hmm.
like stop the cuts from bleeding. It's not like going to the doctor. You know what I mean? So
Oh, of
like,
course.
it's a huge thing that's never really been brought up. Like no one's ever really thought about it or said it until like now. I feel like we've never had this discussion, but it's clearly been a super relevant discussion for probably 40 years of or 100 years of boxing. Even you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a super relevant thing when it comes to judging. So like that's why I said I expected them to give the third. And then actually, the blood was dripping in the fourth, and Drakus won the round even without the blood. But the blood was oozing in the fourth. I'm like, there's nothing Sean can do to win this round. And then I'll be honest, when I'm like, okay, they probably gave Drakus two or three, and they probably gave Drake, and Drakus got four. That was how I felt. I'm like, they probably gave him three, and he got four. I was just watching the blood as far as trying to see. Like I felt like Sean was winning the round, and I never felt uncomfortable with that. But I just was watching the blood. I'm like, if he starts oozing
Mm-hmm.
like that again, and it's this close, there's no way the judges are going to give it to Sean. And it's fucked up that I feel that way because
Mm-hmm.
that damage was done in round three, not round four or five. So like, I don't know. I think it's a very weird thing to have to try to come up with a solution for.
Well, I guess the only kickback I would say to this situation from this fight is his cut was obviously uh, it didn't even need damage to start bleeding very fast to get into the next round. So where when we talk about like an eye or another cut, it's because well the guy's hit him 5 times and you should acknowledge that as a judge. Well, yeah, it should be bleeding a lot more because he keeps on hitting him in the same area. Where like with Sean's eye, it got touched and just started flowing out there. So it really wasn't even a punch that made it bleed. So that's a hard thing from judging, that you really shouldn't be biased on the blood flow of all over his face. But yeah, I mean that's why you get split decisions and things like that.
I guess it's interesting when you're thinking of cuts and damage like that because you look at leg kicks, you take a round worth of leg
Yeah.
kicks, round two, your leg's fucked. And the accumulation of damage to a leg kick, you keep counting. But are we meant to do that with a superficial cut or something like that? Probably not. So it's a bit of a trickier one. But I think the difference might have been Drickus, everything he was throwing to kill. Like you
Mhm.
knew, like there wasn't much technique in what he was doing. He's throwing from the fucking rafters, and that stuff scores better than jabs and shit.
Well, and I
And
think the
we've seen it.
fancy stuff too, kicks, throwing kicks in
Yeah,
there
yeah,
makes it look a lot more fun and ninja shit that people that don't actually fight or anything like that just want entertainment to be. So the head kicks and stuff look pretty hard. So
Yeah,
I
shit.
could see that.
I'll say fucking Drickus got a fast as hell question mark kick. Um, yeah, just he throws everything very very hard. He shoots to kill, and I don't know, man. Like when it came to that Robert Whitaker fight, I watched it after it happened, and I said, there's some craft to it. Like he's throwing where you're gonna be. He's leading you into stuff. And after that second round, I don't know if it was, yeah, I think it was after that second round, going into the third. I looked over to my homie and I told, like, sometimes it's not the work that can get you tired, but it's all the thinking. And I thought Sean Strickland was getting tired from having to think about what Drickus was throwing out there. He's throwing from crazy ass angles. He's throwing combos that don't make sense. And even from that very first round, the only thing I could think of, that was 100% Sean Strickland round. But the only thing that I could think of was with every strike that he threw, it was getting inches and inches and inches closer to landing. And like throwing that body kick off of a 2 3 punch combo from space that shouldn't land while Sean Strickland is backing away, like it's a mind game, you know what I mean? And throwing 170 things to the wall, and some of them are gonna stick. You start thinking about it too much, and it'll slow you down. It'll slow the mind down. It'll weigh on your cardio enough, like that. So I know a lot of people just like to say it's ugly, because it is. But I really do think that there's something intricate and smart to the ugly ass style of Duplessis.
So now we get to see him fight Izzy, right? All depends on how fast that eye heals.
looks like it, man. That's good. I got Izzy to be champion at 9-1 at the start of the year. So
I don't
Oh,
think we're
dude.
gonna get it at 300, man. I think Duplessis is a little prima donna, and he ain't gonna make that turnaround quick.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, so I think I even posted this on my Twitter here. So now Tom Aspinall says I'm not a bully. I don't I don't pick on the smaller man. But if the smaller man wants to fight, let's do it. Because AP is calling out Aspinall right now. That's all. That's Aspinall's response is, well, if he wants it, then let's do it. So AP versus Tom Aspinall may still be possible.
I don't know, man.
That'd be fucking nuts.
AP was in fucking Strickland's corner giving Duplessis the evil eye, man. And then he tweeted, I think earlier today, should I come back down? Or he tweeted something about coming back down to
He tried
middleweight.
to imitate John Jones's tweet after the belt got won when John relinquished it. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, bro.
listen,
That's
we've
what
had what,
John
like
did. As
five.
soon as someone won the belt, John's like, I should go back down there and get it. Like, get the fuck out of here.
We've had like 5 or 6 double champs, right? This guy's got a chance to be a fucking triple champ in like
I,
what 6 UFC fights or something.
bro, I
This is
said it
just
before
insane.
he won the second belt. I was
Do
in here and
not get
everybody's like,
him on this
Jesus
shit
Christ.
again, Ozzy.
See, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, fucking AP's gonna take over the world. He to cut his legs off and go take out the flyweights.
Well, shit, AP definitely doesn't look like he can make middleweight anymore, man. He looks like he's gonna have trouble making fucking 205. The dude looks ginormous right now.
He is
He's
huge. He
walking
is
at
huge.
like
Yeah.
240 something, bro. Like he's massive. Tom Aspinall saying if the smaller man wants it, bro. AP is like 6'3", 6'4". He's not exactly. If he walks in there at fucking 252, he's not exactly the smaller guy, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like
No, I
I
don't
don't
get
know.
it,
That's a
man.
lot of
AP
weight, though.
swells like crazy. He's a big dude.
him
Aspinall.
and Johnny Walker. So Johnny Walker was doing it. Johnny Walker took a video at like 241 point something or some shit on a Monday morning after the fight or a Monday night after the fight. And then AP did a scale thing where he was like 230 something like on Monday and then said that he'll still gain more weight, bro. Like them dudes get big. It's just who can cut the weight. We don't realize we don't think twice about a 6'3" guy cutting down to 155 or 170. We're like, yeah, no big deal. But the idea that they can't cut from 240 to 205 is crazy, bro. I'm telling you, they do it all the time.
Well, and it's that water weight that's the last part that's taken out. So that's when they get in a little hot baths and shit like that and saunas. So then you burn all that freaking water weight, and then that comes right back on right after your weigh-in. That's why IVs got knocked out, so guys couldn't,
Oh, I
cut as
know.
much water weight that way, and then hook themselves to an IV to hydrate their body,
Yeah,
10
dudes
times
are
faster.
basically risking brain damage and possibly causing brain damage. That's why they outlawed them.
Yeah, but yeah,
Motherfuckers used to
because we're
draw blood
stopping
and
brain,
shit too.
because we're
Actually,
stopping
draw
brain
blood to lose
damage in
weight.
the game where you can kick them in the head.
Yeah, but it's so, but bro, like I'm not. We don't got to go off on a tangent. I just want to say it is pretty well proven that if you're hydrated, if you're well hydrated, you're pretty safe. When you're not
Hmm.
hydrated, that's when bad shit happens. When you take kicks and punches to the head. So like, I understood why they made the change. I understood it.
Hmm. Rules are made doesn't mean a lot of people listen to them. That's for sure.
Hell no, Islam used an IV. They're not lying.
No doubt about it. So, I mean, next week we got no card, no UFC next couple weeks, right?
So
Is
should
it
we
two
host?
weeks off? Is it?
Should we host
Uh,
a MMA? If you're not cheating, you're not trying space.
yeah, I guess that's the whole next idea. We got to get Fizz in here to show us how to make one of these big banger parlays so we can roll with the big dogs.
Yeah, Brits, he fucking fantastic. He
Brits used to
you
come
should
in here and
submit
get
that
on the mic and
to.
shit all the time, bro. How do you guys not remember him? Like, he's
I
kind
I
of like
remember him.
remember Brits.
one
Yeah,
of the guys. Like, how did you guys not remember Brits?
Yeah, I
he's
remember
been
him.
on a few times. He's been on a few times.
I
He
always
He's in
see
follows
him
all
in
us
every
and
spaces.
space
shit.
I
though.
listen
He's
to him.
always there.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's got the
Hey,
best
we
avatar in the game.
we do got to come up with a topic for like next Friday's show. We got to come up with something. Like, I'll do Tuesday still, but Friday shows are. I ain't got shit to do on Friday, bro. My wife goes to work on Friday night, and I just hang out with the kids, and then they don't want to hang out with me no more because they're fucking old and they hate me. So, um, yeah, we got to come up with something for Friday Space, bro.
I'm sure we can weasel up a couple things to bitch about.
I like if you're not cheating, you're not trying. We can talk about eye pokes and all that shit because I agree with most
That's
of it.
fun. All
Because
right,
if the
let's do.
ref, listen, bro, the last thing I'm telling my fighter before we walk out and any cameras get around us, when it's just
Mhm.
me and my fighter getting ready to go out there, I'm gonna say, listen, foul until they take a point. Like, cause you can get away, bro. I've seen fighters get fouled 4 times in a fight, and no points get taken. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. Kick them in the balls once, poke them in the eyes once, kick them in the balls again, and like you might be like, oh, that's
Use your
bullshit.
fingernails. Use your fingernails, Johnny. You gotta
Bro,
use your
you might
fingernails.
say it's bullshit, but like if they're not gonna take the point, if you know it's gonna be a warning, bro, I'm telling my dude, all right, as soon as you get the chance, in the nuts, in the eyes, punch him in the back of the head. Don't fuck around. Do all three
How did
every
you know
fight.
that was in John Jones' locker? I mean,
Bro,
come
so
on.
have you ever heard Rampage talk about how bad of a cheater John Jones was? He
Yeah,
says
yeah.
he says
Yeah.
that the fucking gloves got changed at one point because John Jones was intentionally poking motherfuckers in the eyes.
He was
uh,
nailing people, man.
hey,
Yeah, people forget Chuck Liddell was doing it
Yeah.
before. Yeah, before John Jones, man, he was great at it.
yeah, it's an art. Like people call dirty fighters like you got to understand fighting is fighting and dirty
We can
fighting
call it
means
dirty fighters. Yeah, we can talk that on fucking one of them. Some Paul Harris talk.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Paul
That
Paul,
was
did you say
fun.
Paul Harris? You mean Paul Davis?
No,
Well,
No, Paul
Paul
Harris.
Harris. He's still
Polaris, but
holding on to
everybody
that
calls
fucking
him
leg, man.
Paul Harris is
Husamir.
the nickname.
Husamir Paul Harris.
Yeah, does all the heel hooks and holds them too long.
Yeah,
Has a real
Ponzinibbio.
bad rear
yeah, I
naked
know
choke
who he
on a
is.
couple guys.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He fucked that one dude up in the gym.
oh
I
yeah,
the guy was real mad at him too, bro. I remember that. That dude's a prick.
oh no doubt, no one likes him, and I mean he was juiced to the gills. You could see that just by looking at him, and then he got knocked out pretty bad. I think his last fight. So I guess justice was served.
Hector
There's
Lombard was one as well. Everyone fucking hated training with him. He'd just say go light, and then all of a sudden he's 100% trying to knock some prick out. He used to knock out all his training partners.
at any
Yeah.
point at any point of the age 36 or older, fighters should be given the option to exit the rankings, but still fight in the non-tested divisions.
Yeah, that's what they don't need this BMF belt and all this bullshit.
No,
Have
no,
like
no.
a
Fuck that
fucking
BMF. Just let Cerrone and Lawler get back on the juice and go fight. I want to see it. Like
yeah.
Cerrone's on the
Let's
juice
just do
looking
it.
great. Lawler looked great when he was on the juice. Like, let him go back on. Not ranked. Fuck it. They're out of the rankings, but I want to see it. So put it on a
You
fight
know,
night.
you know what they should have done. The UFC all those years ago, they bought Pride. All they got was a handful of contracts, and Pride no longer running a show. Every New
Mhm.
Year's Eve, they should have done a Pride show. Take it back to Japan, fucking free rolling,
Yeah.
no drug test, no nothing, just open weight, fucking just go nuts every New Year's Eve. And that would be perfect now for some of these older guys. Just have the classic guys come back for fights and you don't need to see like you were saying, no 38-year-old fucking Frankie Edgar fighting some bloody 22-year-old up and coming murderer.
No
Just
shit. Ah. Well, wasn't it not too long ago that fucking Pat Militich and he fight? What's his
oh,
name?
he just fought
Mike Jackson or something like that, or
yeah,
what's his
he was
name?
beating his ass too.
He was beating his ass, and then he got too fucking tired and fucking quit.
Yeah, because he was drunk, man. Did he
Yeah,
just get arrested for drink driving a couple of weeks before the fight
I
or
think.
something?
Yeah, yeah. Like right before the fight, he did. He got a DUI.
Down there trying to
Fucking
fucking storm the Capitol building and shit.
gee.
Oh yeah,
Nah, he was
yeah.
just there. He was at it. Before that, he was doing freaking LFA commentating. And as soon as he got caught at Jan 6, he was kicked off. Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't see him do no more.
No, he went batshit crazy.
Yeah. What you got, Joe?
Anybody in here interested in setting up a space? Because it's 2 weeks, right, with no fights.
That is correct. So
We
I
should
mean,
all interview in Google Dive and talk about who's going to buy one championship in 2025, the UFC or PFL. And I'm being very serious. I'm being
that's
very,
fine.
very serious. That
It's 1 week off. The next card is February 3rd. So next week, no UFC. Next the week after, we're back with King Roman.
all right. So maybe we could try to hit that one next Friday or something. But we should talk about that because one's going broke, and I don't think the UFC cares. I think the
They don't
PFL is
care.
going to act like it's a power move, and I don't think the UFC gives a shit about one championship. But there's a huge Asian market attached to one championship, and Dana does care about that market. So it makes me feel like, man, well, he doesn't give a rat's ass about one is the equivalent to buying Invicta or Cage Warriors to him. Like he just wouldn't give a shit. But one has huge TV deals over in Asia, and I don't know if the UFC and Endeavor could weasel their way into those TV deals. Because man, they would definitely want to buy it for that.
What does anyone know what they're doing over there now? Like when they have a pay per view here, um, obviously they show it in Japan or whatever as well, China, I don't know, wherever. They have their own commentary team, right? The UFC has a foreign commentary team that's doing the
Uh-huh.
commentary cage side, or is it like third party somewhere in a studio that's just overlaid the thing? Because they're gonna have to, if they want to
So,
get into that market, they have
so
to
I know
let that
that.
market run over there.
So I know that in certain markets, like if you're in Vegas, the Noche people are there, right? Like
Yep,
you'll see
yep.
them. The press is there. They do. I assume they do most or all of the UFC events that are in that region. But if they go to Chicago, I would doubt that you see the Noche people there. But you can still listen to it um, in Spanish. So it's got to be off-site, like where the announcers are watching it live somewhere. And I'm sure they have that set up in many places because they go to Singapore every time they get a chance. They've got to have at least Asian announce team over there. I would think, but Asia also learns English too. So I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, they got to really put
Brett,
on
you
the
got a
kind of
mic.
show that they're used to seeing over there. That's the difference. This American production doesn't really do nothing for. They're all about spectacle, fucking fireworks, and crazy stuff. That's the way they got to get in back into that market. I think.
Yeah, things that explode. That's what we love.
Me, I want them to get rid of walkout music and lights and shut Bruce Buffer up. Just walk him out, get in there, and say fight. Like
Oh
I
man,
don't care about
getting rid
any
of
of it.
Bruce Buffer, that would be so great.
Oh my
No
god, I
one rocks
can't
the
wait.
mic like Martinez. Joe Martinez is the fucking best.
Yes, he doesn't overdo it. He doesn't underdo it. I fucking love that guy.
I agree. I mean, there's nobody that loves himself anymore than Bruce Buffer. Dude,
Yeah,
that guy totally makes out with himself in the mirror.
yeah. When he's fucking a beautiful girl, he's imagining himself jerking off.
Ah, without a doubt. He probably gives himself like a self high five while he's doing it.
Jesus, man.
What's up,
That's
Andrew? How
You
you
guys are
doing?
all sipping that haterade and you're still thirsty bitches. My God. How do you guys not like Bruce, man?
I
That's the
can't
dude.
stand him. Oh my god.
Don't get me wrong, like
Waked
for
up
fight
Queen in
nights,
his stupid
I think all
goddamn
fight nights should
jackets.
be Joe Martinez, but pay-per-views, dude, there nothing sets a pay-per-view off like fucking Bruce Buffer, bro.
No, he's the reason why I don't even pay for him anymore. Because
Oh.
that
Dude, and I know Joe goes to events. You know when it gets to the fucking main event and he starts getting ready for it's time and the whole fucking crowd gets into it. I know you get chills. I know you get goosebumps. And don't even lie about it.
but
I
not from his voice.
I don't, bro. I don't. I don't. I fucking loathe Bruce Buffer.
So how long has it been like that for you then? Let me ask you that. Has it been
Um,
forever?
no, 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 no. It's a redundancy thing, bro. Like, so
Okay.
like I know you guys are too. Like, bro, I'm hardcore. I've been watching since before. Like, I remember getting the fucking DVDs and VHS tapes and shit. I've been watching it since as long as it's been out, and like for at least the last 200 and something cards, like with the fight nights and everything, probably closer to 300. I haven't missed a single card. And if I have, I watch them Sunday morning, which has only been like two. I don't miss them. And like at this point, I just want Bruce Buffer to shut the fuck up so that they can fight.
Amen.
Okay, so
Amen.
you just want
Can I get
change.
a hallelujah?
Like
You
I'm
just
just
want change because
tired,
it's been so long.
bro. I'm just tired of it. Plus, I'll be honest with you and say this: if I was on the West Coast, I would probably feel different. But when it is 12:45 and Bruce Buffer's still fucking huffing and puffing and jumping up and down, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up and let him fight. Like, I'm like, I don't care.
Uh,
Like, Bruce, shut up.
All right,
If it
that's
was
fair.
if it was
for your
8:45
special way of saying the
or
last name.
9:45, I'd probably be like, Bruce Buffer's great, man. This is awesome. But at 12:45, I'm like, you know what, dude? I got up at fucking 6. Fuck this guy. Shut up. Just let him
You know
fight.
what? You know what, Joe? You need to go back. You remember Van Damme's Bloodsport? They just put the
Of
names
course.
on the board and they walk out.
Swear to God,
Yeah.
bro.
Fuck
That's
Bruce
all we
Buffer.
need.
No music. Walk them
Yeah.
out. Flash the camera to the fucking boards. Say their name, and the referee goes, fight. I'm in.
That's what I'm talking about. Now,
Yeah.
fuck this fucking 8 hours shit. We get
A
it down to
brick
a
don't
tight
hit
two and a
back.
half hours.
Yeah, but entrances make certain people. You know what I mean? I don't know. I love
I've
that
never
shit.
seen an entrance win a fight.
I've grown up watching WWE, so obviously I have a bias. I like that kind of shit. But do you guys remember
Hmm.
a fighter named James Tahuna? I only
Of
remember him for
course.
one thing, and that's the fucking most
The Men
badass
in
walkout
Black.
I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
Men
even
in
know if he
Black.
won
James
that
So
fight.
Tahuna.
so
No,
not
he
to be an
did. He did. He fucked him up.
so I
He knocked
feel
him out.
like this might be a total asshole thing, right? If you're not the main event, you don't deserve that. If you're not the main event, you don't deserve Bruce Buffer. If you're like, if they were just doing it
Okay,
for the
I'll
main
give you
event,
that. Yeah, do like the national
yeah.
anthem like they do in boxing.
Like, bro, if you were just doing it for the main event, straight up, and it was Bruce, and he was to the wall, way worse than he is right now. But it was just for the main. And the walkout songs and the fucking entrance lights and the Megan O'Leary standing at the tunnel with the microphone telling you all the statistics that you've heard 88 times on every fucking show by now. If it wasn't, if they were just doing it like on the main, I'd be like, this is cool. But I don't know, man. It's just too much. I do like O'Leary. I do like them at the end of the hall tunnel.
Oh,
I
now
don't
we're
need.
talking about something different. Chuck her in something leather and give her the microphone. Let her announce the fights. She can
There
butt there
we
doing that
go.
shit for half an hour for like.
No, what I'm saying though is like if it was her straight into the ring and then they go fight, I would be happy. But I like the walkout thing. I do think that was a good ad. It's just become such a production. Like I choose the walkout thing with Megan O'Leary or Laura Sanko or whoever the fuck is doing it. I'd rather have that with no Bruce Buffer than have Bruce Buffer. Like I can't stand Bruce Buffer.
Nah, you're crazy. Have you ever watched fucking the fights on Hulu? You don't get to see the walkouts. You get exactly what you want, Joe. When the fucking damn ads finish, it's they're right inside the ring or red
Yeah.
corner is barely putting on his Vaseline and walking in. Except they show the same fucking ad for 6 hours straight. And it's not like, oh, it's a funny ad of like progressive or some shit. No,
That's
it's
the
just
Burger
highlights of
King.
sports. No, not even that. It's just
Oh,
highlights of
those ones.
sports
Those ones.
and the
Okay.
your event is in progress. And that
Yeah.
same one fucking song, no way, bro. That shit made me want to shoot my head off yesterday.
Hey,
Hulu is horrible. Do
best
not watch the
jab.
fights on Hulu.
I don't know what you guys were having come on your screen, but on my end, Best jab of the whole weekend, and probably one of the best jabs of the last few months is Peloton was running a huge ad campaign on the UFC fight through ESPN. Like, if you guys know, Dana White just threw all their bikes away because of Theo Vaughn and talk shit about them. Their stock dropped like fucking 20% or some shit because Dana White and fucking embarrassed them publicly and shit. So, like, what did they do? They ran Peloton ads for the entire UFC card on ESPN. I thought it was hysterical.
That is a funny one.
You guys
Next
may
week
not
we
think
also got
so,
the
but it
Lions. We
is.
got the
Fuck you.
Lions coming, Joe. Are you at least happy for that?
Who cares?
Who cares? How dare you?
All right, Squidward. We already know, dude. We already
How
know. Just give it
dare
up.
you?
Oh my God.
We're going to the
I
ship.
wish I knew how to share. Oh, I could. My wife sent me something today that I thought was absolutely hysterical. Here, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it in the comment right here because I don't know how to put anything up there. Whatever.
Brett, we've gave you a mic, but then we just won't let you talk. So I guess if you do want to say
Brits is
something.
on the mic. Go, Brits. Tell us where you did it, mate.
Hey, fellas, how you going?
It's
Mate,
going,
nice
brother.
hit. Nice hit, brother.
Thanks, man. Oh, first of all, thanks, Ozzy, for all the love I've been getting. It's been you. You've been campaigning for me for the last 24 hours almost with the win. But, yeah, I had 25. It was a boosted multi or parlay through Sportsbet. I'm just bringing it up now to get the figure. But, yeah, it was, what was it 742 to 1, and it got boosted to 864. So I had $25 on it.
Wow.
And it was Flick to win by submission in rounds 1 or 2 at 577. Jasmine to win by submission in rounds 2 or 3 at 947. And Jillian to win by KO or TKO rounds 2 or 3 at 1582. And yeah,
done,
I
mate.
could not bloody believe it. Like, yeah, it was unreal. I'm still, I woke up this morning, I couldn't believe it. So, yeah, the missus
what'd you
is planning a
say?
holiday to. Sorry, mate.
What'd you say to the missus? Hey, babe, guess what? I won $2,000 last night.
No, I didn't tell her the figure. I didn't want to jinx anything. I didn't tell her the figure or anything until it hit. But we've been trying to organise another holiday to Thailand for a while now. So she's doing that today. We'll have 2 weeks in Phuket towards the end of the
Oh,
year
you
when the
go
weather
there for
gets
2
better over
months
there.
for $23,000, mate.
Yeah, I don't think the boss would like that though.
You
But
finally
yeah,
found
like
something that makes her happy, huh? It only worked for like a couple months, though.
Did you hit them all as singles as well? Yeah.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I had a hell of a day. I won another 12 units or something besides that parlay.
That's
But
beautiful.
I'm just, I'm happy as a pig in shit. But if that other multi we had through Dabble had hit, I think we would have sent that bookmaker broke.
Yeah, that's right. Because 14 seconds off that to get another fucking $23,000 or whatever it would have been.
Yeah, and then
Unreal.
you guys would have collected as well. It would have been super.
Yeah, for sure.
Never mind, we'll get them again one time.
Yep, 2 weeks, mate. They'll be seeing us again in 2 weeks.
Exactly. Gotta spend more time doing those type of parlays. I think because Sportsbet, those you get some great numbers on those type of submission 2-3 or KO 2-3. And I just
Okay, yeah.
I thought Julian was going to try to, go hard in front of her hometown or home country. And I've heard her say in the past that she wants to be known more than a grappler. So I thought there's a good chance she'll get the KO. And the similar thing with Jasmine, I thought she's just going to be, aggressive. She's not much of a finisher, but I thought there's a good chance. And yeah, they brought it through for me. And the
So you
brick,
had
of
the
course.
sub for
Can't forget the
Jazz, yeah?
brick. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that should
Yeah.
have been a TKO. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
When it works out like that,
I
yeah.
was screaming at the TV. But yeah, I won another 500 on just that submission, which was pretty sweet. So that was a hell of a day, the best day I've had. So still grinning ear to ear.
Well, congratulations, bro. That's a good hit.
Thanks very
I
much,
love
mate. It was
I
a
love
really
your
good one.
picture. I love your picture you got up here, Joe, of Goff and Everybody else from the Lions pulling up in the 8 Mile mobile. Hell of a
My
good
wife
one.
sent it to me. I cracked up. I'm like, that's hysterical.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty good. It's a funny one.
no
It's
my.
we've never been to this place before. That's for dang sure.
So what's this? Detroit, is it? Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
the
fucking football. Listen,
yeah,
once upon
football's
a long time
huge.
ago, a guy named Barry Sanders retired. It was the only good thing we ever had. Fuck that team that day.
We
I'll
had
never
Your
Megatron.
basketball
forget that.
team's
What are
not
you
doing much
talking
better.
about? Our
Yeah,
basketball team absolutely blows.
yeah.
I worked at the Palace when they won it in like 2004. That was always kind of cool.
Yeah, they can't give
Well, and
away
then we had
tickets
all the
now,
years of
man.
the Wings. Yeah, we had all the years of the Wings, always winning all kinds of like 4 Stanley Cups and all kinds of Presidents trophies and shit. So the area has always done really good for sports over the
You know
last
what
like 30 years.
you know what I've always assumed? Like I've always known baseball is very global, right? American football is clearly American football, right? Car racing and all that shit is global.
NASCAR
How
too.
where everybody is like how big is hockey everywhere? Like I've always assumed
Huge.
like, oh, they probably play hockey everywhere. But you know what? I don't actually know that they play hockey everywhere. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
Maybe they
there's
only play it in the north.
no hockey's everywhere now.
How
It's
you play
huge
that
in
shit
America.
in Brazil? How you play hockey, bro?
Same way we have fucking arenas.
All right, that's fair, I guess.
I mean, think about the figure skaters. That's all around the world. What do you think? It's only the people that live in the fucking snow?
You do watch figure skating, don't you?
Only the movies related to Tanya Harding because they're always very funny. I don't know. So next week, me and Usman, we'll come up with something. Definitely, probably more bet related. Uh, we'll leave it to Joe to get us some next tinfoil hats for our MMA talks on who's going to buy it and which senator's going to kill the other one or something like that. But we'll do it at the same time next week. We'll pull it up on, put some spaces up here, let everybody know when we're going to make sure that it's on, and come on and check out our website. We're on capmma.com is the main source that we have all kinds of stuff on here. So follow the page. We do have a YouTube channel. If you could please follow that as well, that would help. DM us with any ideas or things you'd like to chat about. We're always up for some new ideas. We love the sport of MMA and combat sports as well. So we can yak it for days. See you guys next week. You got anything, Usman?
I'm good, bro. Let's
All
get at
right.
it.
Talk to you guys on Tuesday. Later.